And a fantastic Thursday evening, everyone. How are you doing? I'm Nick LeBlanc. Welcome to the program. Let me turn this off. And again, welcome to this week's edition of TitleTown Throwdown, powered by the Sports Fan Base Network, Rhode Island. A lot to get to this week, but some breaking news out of the top that really came out during the day. Governor Charlie Baker is going to allow fans to return to Gillette Stadium, Fenway Park, and the TD Garden starting March 22nd. That actually bodes really well for teams like the Bruins and Celtics who, well, still like many teams in their sports are not allowing fans. However, though, starting Tuesday night, New York was allowed to have fans in their arenas. Vegas is having fans return to T-Mobile Arena. There have been fans in Dallas and Florida all season so far. I believe in Nashville as well. So it's good to see that fans will be able to return now. It's only at 12% capacity, which means that it'll be. Oh, let me double check. So, thankfully, somebody sent me a picture of this earlier. Now, what was it? Yes. So at Gillette Stadium for Revolution games for the foreseeable future right now, at Gillette Stadium, it'll be just under 8,000 fans. That's 7,900. Fenway Park, it'll be capped at 4,500 fans. And the TD Garden is able to allow 2,300 Celtic and Bruins fans in every other night. So 12% capacity. It's not. Yeah, it is not a lot. It's not groundbreaking, but it is a start. And depending on how well the vaccine gets rolled out between now and, say, June 1st, maybe capacity go up from 12% to 25%, which I believe at the Garden, it'd be, 5,600 fans? Is it 0.25% of the TD Garden? 5,600? 57? So around there. Fenway seats 38,000, so that would be about 8 to 10,000 fans. Gillette Stadium, again, it'll be soccer season. I expect Gillette to probably be at around maybe 75%, 80% capacity come the new season. Red Sox, TD Garden, I don't think that they're going to be able to get a sellout crowd. Red Sox definitely won't be able to get a sellout crowd till maybe next April. Maybe a little earlier, maybe say September. TD Garden, though, depending when the Bruins and Celtics start, which I'm thinking, given that the current seasons of both leagues will end in July. So probably around maybe November, the middle of November, when those seasons will kick back up, the TD Garden will be filled by that point. You'll be able to allow, all 17,006 something, whatever the capacity is at TD Garden, back into the crowd, and we can finally get on things. But this is good, though, for teams for all the Boston teams, okay? They've all done this. They have all played in empty stadiums. The Patriots, 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 most, throughout the entire 2020 season, played without spectators, which, well, a lot of people did. A lot of people did. But Bruins and Celtics, they've been playing without fans. And they haven't played in front of home fans in forever, but they have played in fan. The Bruins are playing their first game with spectators in the building tonight in New York. The Celtics, they've been doing it. They've done it already a few times, I believe, in Texas, Florida, New Orleans. I don't believe they've gone to Memphis yet. Maybe they have. Atlanta, I believe. So all the southern states that the Celtics have been to so far, they've allowed fans in there. I believe they've already gone to Phoenix. I might be mistaken. But anyway, though, Still a lot to get to tonight. A lot to get to. Red Sox spring training is still right around the corner. Their first exhibition games take place on Saturday. The Bruins are still rolling. The Celtics, free falling. They're currently out of the playoffs if the season were to end tonight. And a lot of NFL news. A lot of NFL news going on tonight, whether it is Celtics related, not Celtics, football, national football related, Patriots related. The Patriots are a part of this. Don't get me wrong, because the Patriots quarterback options, they're continuing to dwindle. Some drama is being developed out in Seattle with Russell Wilson. The drama continues down in Houston with Deshaun Watson. That's not going to end anytime soon. So that's apparent. But anyway, though, let's get it started with this, though. The Boston Red Sox, Eduardo Rodriguez, early in the year said, "Don't underestimate us." Eddie, here's the thing. You weren't around the team in 2020, but for reasons, I hope that you are okay to pitch and be successful this year. But if you watched your teammates play last year, oof. And look, the entire Killer Bees outfield that took pretty quickly to build up of Benintendi, Betts, and Bradley. Betts is in Los Angeles. Benintendi is in Kansas City. And then Jackie Bradley Jr. remains a free agent, who I would still like to see the Red Sox bring back because their new addition in the Benintendi trade, Frenchie Condero, he's on the COVID-19 list. That did not take long now, did it? So, look, as much as a streaky hitter that Jackie Bradley Jr. is, and probably will be his entire career, I rather still see him come back. I'd rather see Jackie Bradley Jr. come back just that way. Condero, you don't know what you're going to get from him, but you can still play him, move around the outfield, and guys like Renfroe need a day. Jackie needs a day, which is rare. Verdugo would need a day. He can swap in, so Condero could be an everyday type of player, but playing in all three different outfield positions if needed. If needed, though. That's the key word. If needed. But as it's looking like right now, your starting outfield will be Condero, Renfroe, and Verdugo. Wherever you want to put Renfroe and Verdugo and Condero, that doesn't really matter. That's going to be the outfield regardless. Infield, the left side of your infield is pretty solid in Devers and Bradley Jr. The right side of the infield, though, second and first, I think Kike Hernandez is a solid at number 2 for second base. What about first base, though? Marwin Gonzalez, Michael Chavis, Bobby Dahlbeck. I mean, there are options for the Red Sox. It's not like they definitely need to go out and get a first baseman like they already lost Mitch Moreland. He went to the Minnesota Twins. I believe the Twins. I will double check that during the break, and I'll get back to you all on that. But no, it's really hard for me to get around this Red Sox team, especially with the rotation still a mess. You got Tanner Hoke, who could be filling in for a while. Rodriguez, don't know how well he's going to be. Evaldi, can he stay healthy? Martin Perez, is he going to be a long relief bullpen guy? Is he going to be in the rotation? Who the hell knows when Chris Sale's going to come back, even though they say Sale is on the right track and probably ahead of schedule. If you're the Red Sox, and you tend to do this a lot from time to time, you care and coddle and nurture these guys to make sure that they're 100%. But I'm actually okay with that. Normally, I'm like, no, if the guy's ready, bring him back. If the guy's ready sooner, bring him back sooner. Sale, I'm not too concerned by. if Sale misses the first 3 months of the season, okay? He misses the first 3 months of the season, fine. So be it. He's ready to go in July, and you still got a pretty decent chance to probably either solidify your spot in the wild card race, or you're in there and you still want to improve. The Chris Sale would be a huge upgrade. But if you're completely out of it in July, which is probably going to be the case, about right now 60-40, that will be the case right now. Put Sale in there, see how he does, but don't overdo him. Give him an innings and a pitch limit, But you do got to get Sale out of there, though. Okay? I was saying, put Sale in the bullpen. He'll be fine. He won't be used as much. Then I thought about it. You're paying the guy. You gave the guy $140 million a couple of years ago. And that kicked in last year. So Sale got paid for a whole year without playing. But then yeah, you can say, but Nick, Dustin Pedroia has been playing the last roughly 2 years without playing anything. True. All right, I'll give you that. But Pedroia, though, his knee was all scraped up anyway, even before the Manny Machado thing. So let's really be honest with that. Was Pedroia really 100% in 2016? He might have looked like it, but he wasn't. Okay, like the dude had nagging injuries throughout his whole career, and not his fault. He was a great player. He literally left his body out on the line. He's a football player playing baseball. Just left it all out there. Put his body on the line. Made the plays that he needed to make. And that screwed up his knees. It happens. It really does happen. But look, I'm not going to make the final prediction of the Red Sox season just yet. I will be pretty soon writing an article for Sports Fan Base Network, Rhode Island, about my preview of the Red Sox. What are my expectations for this team? I'm going to be honest, my expectations of this team are rather low. They are rather low. And look, rightfully so, okay? 2019, everyone thought that they had a chance to be back-to-back, be the first back-to-back champion since the Yankees. They brought back virtually the entire same team, with the exception of Joe Kelly and Craig Kimbrell. Even though Kimbrell was a heart attack in the can and Joe Kelly was on and off. Kimbrell's still a heart attack in the can, and Joe Kelly, he's still Joe Kelly. But were they key guys? Yes, they absolutely were. So when you took those key guys away, yeah. But it's just all around disappointing season, though. Evaldi, we thought he could finally stay healthy. First week, he gets injured. Chris Sale, nowhere close to the pitcher that he was. David Price, average at best. Rodriguez proved that he was the best starting pitcher for the Red Sox in 2019. But JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, and Xander Bogaerts, they proved that they're the best players on the whole team. Let alone one of the best players in the American League or in Major League Baseball itself. They're the best players in general in that 2019 Red Sox team. All the Red Sox pitchers sucked. Benintendi stunk. Bradley was Bradley. Christian Vasquez, so I think he should have done an all-star game, because Vasquez had a very good 2019 season. He had a very good one. Look, but just given the way that this team's done the last couple of years and, a quote-unquote managerial change, when realistically you parted ways with their manager, Alex Cora, only to have Ron Renneke be the interim, and then you named him manager. You got rid of Renneke because of poor performance. When realistically, look, and this is what so mind boggles me, and look, Cora's part of the reason why I have very little hope for the Red Sox. Cora's reputation is so ruined by the Astros scandal. It's hard to trust him. I still think Cora is the best man for the job in terms of the Red Sox, because of clubhouse. You can get these guys going, rally around them. But at the same time, though, his reputation, maybe some guys who were coming from other teams, they might not gel with Cora right away, and that could cause some issues. Guys like Devers, Bogarts, Martinez, Valdi, Sale, Rodriguez, Vasquez. There's still a good chunk of guys from the 2018 Red Sox team that are glad to see and have Alex Cora back. But now this brings me to this, Red Sox. I think everybody knew you were going to bring back Alex Cora, but why go through the whole fuss of parting ways with him only to bring him back? You could have said, look, Alex Cora is our manager for the foreseeable future. However, for 2020, Ron Renneke will be the interim manager for the season. And when Cora comes back, Renneke retains his job as bench coach. Cora comes back as manager, and that's fine. But I get where he had to get rid of Renneke, chemistry, culture. I did it. All right, when we come back, the Bruins, who are on right now, they are losing already 1-0 to the Islanders. Go figure. But the Bruins are really the only bright spot in this whole Boston sports unit right now. That's the sad thing. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk some Boston Bruins hockey. You are watching TitleTown Throwdown on all sports fan-based network platforms. And welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. I made a boo-boo. The Bruins are tied at 1-1. Bruins took the 1-0 lead off of the stick of Nick Ritchie, and then New York tied it. So, my apologies there. And the Bruins' first home game, which they can allow fans in the stands, is going to be March 23rd at home. And listen, and look, I want to give you the Bruins' upcoming schedule right now because we're talking about the Bruins. Their schedule's been tweaked around so many different times, but the Bruins have a lot of home games coming up, all right? So, January, February, the Bruins combined only played 5 games at TD Garden, 6 home games total, but that 6th one was out in Lake Tahoe. Yeah, that was out in Lake Tahoe. So, anyway, after this little New York trip, Bruins are home for a week as they play the Capitals and the New Jersey Devils. They go to New York for a day, then they go back home to play the Rangers twice. On the road for a week in both Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Then the Bruins are going to be home for 2 weeks as they play the Islanders twice, the Sabres, the Devils twice, the Penguins twice, the Flyers a home and home back-to-back. Bruins will be in Washington, Philly, and Washington. That kind of doesn't really make any sense. Why you go from D.C., back to Philly, back to D.C., that doesn't really make much sense. Figure just make it a 3-game series against the Flyers. The Bruins just happen to play at home one of those games. But look, though, the Bruins, so they got 8 games to play against the Buffalo Sabres. And not a lot of time to do it. The Buffalo Sabres, believe it or not, are the only team the Bruins have yet to play this season. They have yet to play this season. So, Zach, thanks for tuning in, my friend. Your question, I am going to pop it up for the entire world to see. Who's better this season, Bruins, Celtics, or Red Sox? Who does worse? Well, given that the Red Sox haven't started yet, but as I said last segment, my expectations for the Red Sox are rather low. They're rather low, but I'm hoping the Red Sox will have a decent season. What's decent to me? anywhere between 73 and 83 wins. Not anywhere between 73 and 89 wins. All right, just stay out of the 90 loss column. Stay out of the 90 loss column completely. You do that, I consider your season for a mediocre team like the Red Sox, I'll consider that year a success. All right? And look, yeah, the Red Sox finished, 24-36 last year, 12 games under, they weren't that far under 500, even though they were. The record they were a lot worse than what the record indicated. And look, the Bruins are a lot better too. And the Bruins I was never concerned about the Bruins. We're being honest. Yeah, you lose Torrey Krug. You lost to Daniel Chara. But you still got Bergeron. You still got Pastrnak. You still got Marchand. You still got David Krejci. You got Rask and Halak. You're probably the best goalie tandem in the entire National Hockey League. And you're in first place in the Mass Mutual Eastern Division. In the entire NHL as a whole, you're sixth. You're only behind Toronto, Florida, Edmonton, Tampa Bay, and Carolina. Couple things. How the hell are you behind both Toronto and Florida, and how the hell are you behind Edmonton? I'll tell you why. The Bruins haven't played as many games. Maple Leafs have played 21, Panthers 18, Oilers 21, Hurricanes 18, Lightning 17. So, but look, the Bruins are in the top 10. Okay, here's the top 10 teams in the NHL right now. Maple Leafs, somehow, first round exits. Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers, first round exits also, or they will miss the playoffs entirely. I will laugh if they do. Tampa Bay Lightning 4, Carolina Hurricanes 5, Boston Bruins 6, Chicago Blackhawks 7, surprisingly enough. Vegas Golden Knights 8th, Winnipeg Jets 9th, and the Montreal Canadiens 10th, who just fired former Bruins head coach Claude Julien because the Canadiens have won once in the last 6. What does this sound familiar? Oh my God. Oh, yeah, it is familiar here. Approximately 1 week after the Bruins said bye-bye, well, not approximately, almost 6 days after the Bruins told Claude Julien, hey, we're relieving you of your duties here. A week later, the Canadiens fired their head coach, brought back Julien as the head man, and boom. Canadiens turned out to be better the rest of the way. The Bruins were a lot better the rest of the way in 2017. Let's be honest. In 2017, the Bruins probably should not have been to the playoffs because they were just absolutely horrid on offense. But as Cassidy takes over, scoring goes up, Bruins in the playoffs. And let's just take a look at the last 3 years between Claude and Cassidy. Claude got his team to the bubble. Got his team back to the bubble. Well, Claude, no. Here's what Claude's team did, okay? All right, I'm going to show you, okay? Here's the playoffs. Here's what the Canadiens did because of the COVID-19 stuff. Backed it in. They backed right on into the tournament. They backed it right on in. So, the Bruins. But before that, Montreal missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. Because lack of scoring. Now, granted, the Bruins hit the back end of the barn like 25% of the time. No. But Cassidy has helped the Bruins earn a spot in 2017. You say, oh, the Bruins backed into a playoffs because of the coaching change. Reasonable. But the Bruins still didn't earn their way into the playoffs as they played better because they started scoring more goals. I mean, come on. What Cassidy did in 2 months with the Bruins is something Claude couldn't do in 2 years after the Bruins won the President's Trophy in 2014. 2015 and 2016, the Bruins missed the playoffs entirely. They're doing to miss it 3 years in a row before Claude gets fired. Cassidy takes over. Boom. Bruins skyrocketed. Bruins have been consistently good since Bruce Cassidy took over. Montreal, he inherited a good team. Bad, backed into the bubble. Upset Pittsburgh. Somehow you did that. I don't know how you did that one. And now you're good, but teetering on the fence of still mediocre, but can still get in. So, with the Bruins, Zach, to answer your question finally, I'm sorry I've been dancing around it. Just so much on my mind. The Bruins are the best team between the Red Sox and the Celtics. Celtics are just on a downward spiral. The Red Sox, they are... The Red Sox are a roller coaster, okay? Because they'll do this and then dip down. They'll do this and then dip down. They'll do this and then dip down. They'll do that all the time. They would do that all the time, man. So, with the Bruins, they're tied 1-1 between with the New York Islanders right now. I'm double checking, make sure there's no. Yep, 8:39 left in the first period. Bruins and Islanders are tied at 1 apiece. Bruins their first game since Sunday at Lake Tahoe, and I want to touch on a couple things about Lake Tahoe for just a minute before we go into Celtic talk. Did the NHL forget about science? Because when you start a game at 3 o'clock Eastern, yeah, it's a great time to start a hockey game here in the East, 3 p.m. Oh, yeah, let's go. Sun's halfway set. You're in Nevada, 3 hours behind, it's noon, and the sun's at its highest peak, beaming down on an ice surface and it's 50 degrees. What do you think's gonna happen? It's gonna freeze even more? No, it's gonna melt. And look, the Avalanche and Golden Knights first period of the Lake Tahoe game, 1.4 million viewers on NBC before it dropped significantly down to just under 350,000 viewers because the game didn't resume till midnight on the East Coast. People were in bed here in the East Coast and probably just didn't care enough. You got the viewers in both Denver and Vegas because, well, midnight here is only 10 o'clock in Colorado, and midnight here is 9 o'clock in Nevada. Bruins Flyers on NBC Sports Network, 1.1 million views, the highest rating hockey game on the entire network. Go figure, Bruins Flyers, and it was a good game for about 35 minutes of it. Maybe 28 minutes or so. Second period was all Boston. Anyway, though, like, do I think the NHL should not go back outdoors? Absolutely, they should. Would I like to see them go back to Lake Tahoe? Yeah. Just don't have a game start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, and the game starts at 12 o'clock. But then again, though, if you want to have fans at Lake Tahoe, you can actually build stands that will hopefully block out the sun enough to make the ice surface work. But still, if you want to have people at Lake Tahoe next time, you have stands that'll A, block the sun, but B, make the game an 8 o'clock game. 8 o'clock here in the East Coast is perfect timing. And don't have it in February. Have it in like December or January when the days are really short and by 4:30 it's like dark virtually, or by 3 p.m. Pacific time the sun's like halfway down. So I don't know, just a thought. All right, Celtics are on a downward spot. What's going on with the Seas? Celtics talk right after this. TitleTown Throwdown on all sports fan base network platforms. Okay, welcome back to TitleTown Throwdown. Apologies for some technical issues, but back in a couple of minutes to redo here. All right, so Celtics, Mr. S, thank you so much for joining. I hope you're doing well during these crazy times. Celtics have quit on Brad Stevens. Honestly, not only have they quit on Stevens, I personally think the Celtics have quit on each other. Just think about it. Last year, pre-pandemic and the post-shutdown in the bubble in Orlando, guys like Tatum and Brown, they were passing the ball. They were spreading the ball all over the court. You saw Marcus Smart taking some nice shots. You saw Kemba Walker taking some nice shots. And his Cantor, when he was here, taking some decent shots, being a big man. Tristan Thompson, ghost. Kemba Walker can't even stay on the damn court. He has to have a maintenance day after almost virtually every game because of his damn knee. And reports had that Danny Ainge's trying to trade Kemba Walker knowing the injury, his knee injury history. That's on you, Danny. But Brown and Tatum, though, and I noticed this a little bit, flipping back and forth between the Celtics and a few other things, they're ball hogs. They're ball hogs. Like, it's like they forgot the essence of passing. Almost. It's like passing to them is a foreign language. Like, no, I can do it myself. You guys aren't. Look, a guy that can get away with being a ball hog because he thinks that his guys don't have an open shot is LeBron James. He can get away with it because, well, okay, yeah, he's a superstar, but and so are Brown and Tatum. Not saying that they aren't, but a guy like LeBron James can get away with it because the team's mindset is that if we give it to LeBron and we put it in LeBron's hands, he can lead us and he can make that shot 9 times out of 10. Kobe got away with it his entire career because he could make the shot. Tatum and Brown, they're more than capable of making the shot. Their shot selection, though, is poor. It's poor. And Celtics can't maintain a flipping lead. You blew 24 points to the New Orleans Pelicans on Sunday. The Pelicans! What professional team anywhere else in all the sports all around the world are named the Pelicans. Then again, in minor league baseball, there's a team called the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and there used to be a team called the New Orleans Baby Cakes. So I'm not going to dump too much on the Pelicans' name, but still, though, what major sports team is like the highest level of a professional sport? It's named the Pelicans. And you were down 20 points the other night to the Dallas Mavericks, and you come back in that game only to have Luka Doncic just absolutely crush your hopes and dreams as he's done to just about every NBA team since he's come into the league. It says a lot. It really does say a lot about this team. 2 games under 500. You've fallen to 9th place in the Eastern Conference. But yet, we can celebrate that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to the All-Star game as the 2 Celtic representatives. Whee! They are ball hogs. They're not passing the ball. It also does help that Marcus Smart is hurt. I believe Smart's on the verge of coming back. He should be ready to go second half of the season. But you're almost at the 42 game mark. That's half the season in a normal year. You're only playing 10 less games than what you normally do? You're past the halfway point here, fellas. Yeah, this is going to be considered the quote-unquote halfway point. And now, I got a little confused with the Celtics schedule when it first came out because I thought it was going to be conference play the first 42 games of the season, and then the final 30 games of the year is going to be all interconference play. I didn't realize that they were still going to do, West Coast trips here, a little Midwest trip there. I would have done the schedule a little bit more differently, to be brutally honest. Because you can go, just within your own conference, you're not going that far. The farthest Celtics have to go is Milwaukee. No, Chicago. But Milwaukee and Chicago, they're on that, right under each other almost. Almost. It's the farthest have to go is Milwaukee and Chicago, who are in the central time zone. Other than that, you don't leave the east time zone at all. But, I see them in Phoenix one night and Orlando the next night. It's what? Why didn't you go Phoenix? Why didn't you go, say, Denver, Utah, Phoenix, a couple of days off, both LA teams, Sacramento, Golden State, Portland, and then you make your way back home. We're going to be home for a couple of weeks to play, say, those same teams. Say those same teams. Yeah, you're on the road for 2 weeks. It's no fun, but I would have done it. I would have been okay, whatever, it's 2 weeks on the road. Fine. Builds up team chemistry. Something that this Celtics team lacks severely. This Celtics team lacks that severely, and it's not funny. It is not funny. This team lacks it so much. It ain't funny. So let me just say this. With the Celtics, it's just the team chemistry is just so bad right now that they just need to find a way. Look, Brown and Tim, they can't do it themselves. They really can't do it themselves. And there are a couple guys out there. Old friend Rajon Rondo. Boogie Cousins, he's out there. I wouldn't mind seeing both come back. I'd like to see Cousins here. I think he'd add a lot of value to this team. Rondo adds some depth. Good point guard. Marcus Smart goes down, or you need to move Smart over a position. Can put Rondo on the floor at point guard. There's options, but the thing is, will Danny Ainge go after it? I don't know. Look, what's going on with the Celtics right now is a player problem. It's not a Brad Stevens problem. It's not a Danny Ainge problem. It's the guys that are on the team. It's the guys that are on the team. But Stevens, though, he has to get these guys' heads really out of their keisters, get us back on straight, focused on the game. So whatever issues are going on in the locker room, Stevens needs to intervene and be like, okay, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? Danny, he needs to do something. He needs to do something. Ainge has to go out and sign someone. That's the only way. Acquire someone via trade. They call him Trader Danny. He's done nothing in the last couple of years to significantly help this team. I think it was good to let Irving walk in, though Kyrie Irving, he didn't even want to be here. It was a good signing to sign Kemba. Problem is Kemba can't stay on the court because of his knee. Danny knew about Kemba's knee, but Kemba, being a competitor, which I love, he wanted to try to power through the knee injury. I get it. But there's still comes a time and a place in which, if you can't go, it's okay to say you can't go. But what's killing the Celtics right now is that Kemba Walker is supposed to be the third best player on the court. He can't even play in a back-to-back. Rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. The player's health comes first. But it's also hurting the team too, that fact that they have him one night, but then they can't have him the rest of the night, the second night. So that's the thing. And told my old couple friends of mine, Mike, yeah. Kemba should not have played in the All-Star game last year. He really shouldn't. He really shouldn't have. And Mike, I hope you and your family are all doing great. Friend Matt McKelvey, dude, hope you're doing well. Ainge isn't going to do a thing, and he's not. I agree. He's not. What has Danny Ainge done during the season to help improve this team over the course of the last 4 or 5 seasons? Nada. Not a dang thing. Don Sweeney, the Bruins, for as much crap as I give him, he's done more to improve his team in season in the last 2 years than Danny Ainge has in the last 4. Then again, Don Sweeney has also done more to improve his team in the last 2 years that Bill Belichick has done in realistically the last 5. And I'm going to switch gears now to... We had an extended break last time. I want to finish off with some NFL talk here. There's still some quarterback options out there for the Patriots. Dwindling down. Russell Wilson, there's a chance for him to possibly get moved. He's not closing the door on Seattle. He's happy in Seattle, but he would explore it, which it's okay to explore things. It's definitely okay to explore things. Definitely hard to explore things, but will Russell Wilson be traded? Doubtful. I doubt it. So anyone who thinks that Russell Wilson will be traded, no, it's not happening. Honestly, the situation he has right now in Seattle is better than about what 75% of the league has right now. A lot better. His line could use improvement. The Deshaun Watson drama continues. Watson, he met with the new Texans head coach, but still said he's not going to suit up for the team. So, and the Texans, they are reluctant to even take phone calls from Deshaun Watson because they want him as the quarterback. And look, they gave him a 4-year extension last offseason. And that contract doesn't kick in until next year. Where, yeah, teams can look on right now and be like, oh, well, he's only making like almost, $10.75 million, almost $11 million. It's not bad. That 10.75, that shoots up to 31 mil next year. And it goes up to 34 million, then 36 million. As much the Patriots fan as me, as much as I would love to see Deshaun Watson here, I don't think he'll come here. for a multitude of reasons. A, who the hell does he have to throw? If he doesn't have anyone to throw to now in Houston, barely, who the hell is he going to throw the ball up to here? N'Keal Harry, Jacoby Myers? I think Myers and Harry did take steps in the right direction late in the season. Problem is, they didn't have a quarterback that did that in the football. Cam. I'll get to Cam in a minute. But look, Deshaun Watson, do I think he will get traded at some point? Yes. Will he fight tooth and nail to get traded? Yes. If you're Deshaun Watson, though, if it comes training camp and you still are not traded, should you sit out the season? No. I don't believe Watson will. I don't think Deshaun Watson will sit out the season. I don't think he should sit out the season. Think about it. It could hurt his trade value in the future. Say he wants to get traded the following off season. Demands a trade. You can demand a trade as many times as you want. There's no limits in how many times you can demand a trade. The problem is, though, if you sit out an entire season, dude, your trade value will plummet. And then teams will look at that and say, oh, he didn't get his way. He's being a baby. And if he doesn't get his way, he's just going to sit out. That's the path that he could take. Not saying that I'll blame him if he decides to sit out, but he'll be fined a significant amount of money. I believe it's $5,000 for each day of training camp that he misses. There's also a fine for missing mandatory minicamp. And then he gets fined almost $700,000 for every preseason game he misses. And I believe the fine goes up if you miss regular season time as well. So, with that, I don't know. Should Deshaun Watson get sit out the season? No. Will he be a good fit here in New England? Yes and no. Great player, no one to throw the ball to. Russell Wilson. He has some lists. Saints will be in the market for a quarterback because 99% chance Drew Brees is going to retire. And that's going to hurt. But do I see Russell Wilson being traded this season? Off-season/season? No. Next season/off-season? Maybe. Maybe. But the Patriots, so their options are very limited now. Carson Wentz is off the board. He's in Indianapolis. Deshaun Watson, will he get traded? At this rate, no. Russell Wilson, no. Watson and Wilson are pipeline dreams. Okay, Patriot fans, get that. Let's just admit that now. Watson, Wilson, would we love him here? Yeah. Any chance of us getting them? No. 0.000000000 and so on percent chance of either of those two coming here. Carson Wentz off the board. Jared Goff wasn't the greatest. He isn't the greatest quarterback. He's off the board. Matthew Stafford, again, is he a good quarterback? Yes. Is he a great one? No. But he's off the board. He's in LA. Your options are limited down to bring back Cam Newton, which I'm not 100% against it. I'm not. I still believe that if you give Cam a full off season, an additional 6 to 8 weeks with the team, I think he can improve. He needs to improve his arm strength, but that can come in due time with coaching and other things. He got the draft, and the draft scares me. Bill Belichick has failed on the draft every year since 2015. I don't think he's hit a gold mine. 2020, Kyle Duggery actually turned out to be pretty good, so I'll give Bill that pick. But then Bill was picking late in the first round. Bill Belichick is the number 15 overall pick. And yeah, Houston will be wanting to trade back into the first round. Understandable. You're not getting Deshaun Watson. The only reason why Houston will try to talk to you is that they might want to trade back up into the first round after giving their first round pick to the Dolphins for Laramie Tunsil. But should I think Bill Belichick should use should Belichick use the 15th overall pick? Yes. Yes. I do believe Belichick should use the 15th overall pick. First quarterback available. Whether that's Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and I think those two can actually work their way down towards you. Maybe Mac Jones. Maybe. You're not getting Trevor Lawrence, okay? Because you would have to trade all the way up to try to communicate with Jacksonville. And Urban Meyer's going to look at Bill Belichick and laugh in his face, saying, like, yeah, you think I'm going to give you the number one overall pick for probably a generational talent and Trevor Lawrence? No. Am I saying Trevor Lawrence will succeed in the National Football League? He could. He could. But, again, who knows? All right. But so, again, would I be completely against Cam Newton coming back here? No. Is it the most wisest thing? Probably not. But if you miss on any of these young quarterbacks, you miss out on a good quarterback in free agency. You might want to look at the veteran guys. You can look at trying to get Marcus Mariota. He'll be cheap. Maybe Ryan Fitzpatrick. He'll complete the AFC East, so it would suit up for every AFC East team. And I wouldn't mind Ryan Fitzpatrick here. Good. Another good bridge year. But if you do draft a young guy, but you still want to have a veteran presence quarterback there, then it doesn't really matter who you bring in. You bring back Newton, you bring in Fitzpatrick, you trade for Marcus Mariota. You'll have options if you still want to have a veteran quarterback there for a young guy, say Mac Jones, to sit behind. Fine. Brian Hoyer is a career backup quarterback. I'm pretty sure he's going to be released. Jarrett Stidham, do we know if he's going to be an NFL caliber quarterback? He needs an opportunity, obviously, but who knows? Who knows? All right. That's going to wrap up TitleTown Throwdown for this week. Thank you all who tuned in and joined. We will be back next week. Same stuff, same time. And hopefully we finally see a little bit of a clear path to see where the Patriots are going to go for free agency. If the Celtics can clean up the rats, if the Bruins can continue dominating, and see what other ways the Red Sox can mess up. It'll be fun. All right. TitleTown Throwdown. MMA Complete with Zach Drapo is coming up next in all Sports Fan Base Network platforms. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening.